afternoon from Joliet, Illinois, Dooley Health and Care Field, the home of the Fighting Saints of the University of St. Francis. It's time to start CCAC play as the Saints take on the St. Xavier University Cougars in a doubleheader today. 7 innings will go in Game 1. Terry Bonadonna with you on the play-by-play as we get set to begin this game. Ryan Daly on the mound for the Fighting Saints goes into the windup, and his first pitch of the game is taken for a strike by Sean Moore. We're underway at 12:59 p.m. Central Daylight Time. 0-1 on Sean Moore, the leadoff batter and center fielder for the Cougars, who checks his swing and takes a strike over the outside corner. 0-2. Moore is a .290 hitter this season. Couple of extra base hits, 3 RBIs. He takes a ball and moves the count to 1-2. It's a beautiful spring day here in early March. So there's a ground ball over to second base, scooped up by Alex Martinez. The throw to first beats Moore by a couple of steps. 1 up, 1 down to get today's game started. Let's take a look at the starting lineups once again for St. Xavier. Sean Moore, we just heard, the leadoff hitter and center fielder. Batting second is left fielder Justin Massingale. Evan Orzek hits third at catcher. The cleanup hitter is designated hitter Tony Stukenberg. Batting fifth, third baseman John Simasek. His first pitch comes in to Massingale and is taken for strike 1. Batting sixth for the Cougars today, their shortstop Connor Hutchings. Nick Altabelli bats seventh in right field. Sebastian Parchamenko is at first base and hitting ninth. Second baseman Noah Dreyer. We'll get a look at their starting pitcher and Nico Saldias in the bottom of the first inning as Massingale swings and misses. Strike 3. 2 up, 2 down, and a really nice start for Ryan Daly. Here's the lineup for the Fighting Saints today. It's Alex Martinez batting first at second base. Hitting second is the third baseman Drew Dant. Nate Maliska hits third at first. Batting fourth, right fielder Jake Klepash. Hitting fifth, shortstop Brian Hidalgo. Cliff Vickers hits sixth in center field. Max Montgomery is in left. John McGuire bats eighth. McGuire's the DH. And hitting ninth is catcher Jake Murda, who receives one off the inside corner for ball 1 on Evan Orzek, the left-handed hitting catcher for St. Xavier. Power bat for the Cougars. Takes one down low. 2-0. Orzek's hitting .261 with a homer and 12 RBIs so far this season. 2-0 pitch from Daly. Swung on, grounded to the right side. An easy play for Alex Martinez. 1-2-3 go the Cougars in the top of the first inning. We'll head to the bottom of the frame, and St. Francis will get their first at bat. No score after half an inning.
Inning for St. Xavier. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody was left on base.
Just about set to start the bottom of the first inning. No score after half an inning of play. St. Xavier went down in order in the top of the first. St. Francis will come up in the bottom of the inning with Alex Martinez, Drew Dant, and Nate Maliska due to hit against a junior right-hander for St. Xavier, already making his 6th start of the season. Nico Saldias, 1-1 with a 4.64 ERA coming into play today. In 21 1/3 innings, he's allowed 13 runs, 11 of them earned on 23 hits, with 23 strikeouts and only 12 walks. He'll face Alex Martinez as we get the bottom of the first inning underway. Martinez has struggled at the plate so far this year, hitting .171. He has started every game played by the Fighting Saints so far this season. First pitch of the game from Saldias is grounded to the right side. Scooped up cleanly by Noah Dreyer, the second baseman. Throw to first retires Martinez, and a really nice start for Nico Saldias. 1 up, 1 down. Here's Drew Dant.
Third baseman, number 32, Drew Dant.
Drew Dant's off to a whale of a start this year for the Saints. .406 average. 13 hits and 32 at bats. He's got 2 doubles, 2 home runs. And he leads the team with 7 runs batted in. Comes up with nobody on base here and takes ball 1. Well, consider Alex Martinez has struggled at the top of the order. RBI chances haven't come as frequently for the hitters behind him as they would have expected. Strike over the outside corner, 1-1. But Drew Dant has driven in 7 runs in just 11 games played. Martinez actually ranks second on the team with 6 RBIs. Strike called on Dant, 1-2. Nate Maliska waits on deck as Saldias tries to match what his counterpart did in the top of the first inning. Ryan Daly set down the first 2 batters. Daly ended up going 1-2-3. It's 1-2 so far for Saldias. He gets Dant to swing and miss. Strike 3, 2 up, 2 down, bottom of the first inning. Great start for the 2 pitchers.
First baseman, number 31.
We're early in the year, first conference game for these 2 schools as we make our way into the middle days of March. Nate Maliska stands in. First baseman hitting third, batting .314 this year. Takes the first pitch, strike. Typically you come home after your early spring trips. It's freezing cold. You have to adjust to a different style of play. Ball high, 1-1. This year's a little bit different. Temperatures in the mid-60s right now. It might climb as high as 70 by the time this thing is over. 1-1. Painted the outside corner. Saldias gets ahead of Maliska, 1-2. So typically these are great days for pitchers. Guys' ERAs get healthy in a hurry when they come back to the Chicago area in early to mid-March. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The pitching looks pretty good as we start today's game. Both sides go down 1-2-3 in the first. We head to inning number 2. No score here in Joliet. Top of the second inning. No score. Both pitchers looked sharp in the first. So we start the second. Ryan Daly looks sharp again, firing a fastball over for strike one on Tony Stukenberg, the designated hitter for St. Xavier. Stukenberg is the leading hitter for the Cougars this year. He takes ball one. 385, 4 extra base hits, 8 runs batted in 14 games played. Powerful cut, can't connect. It's 1-2. Daly has gotten ahead of 3 of the 4 hitters he's faced today. Only Evan Orzik saw a hitter's count, but he grounded out on 2-0. As Stukenberg takes the ball, 2-2. Right-handed hitter, Stukenberg stands 5'10", 190 pounds, a freshman out of Lyons Township High School. Swings and misses for strike 3. Second strikeout for Daly. Both pitchers have a couple of early Ks on the score sheet. 4 up, 4 down. Here's John Simasek. Simasek, a freshman from Twinsburg, Ohio. Takes ball one outside. I don't know if it's a law there that you have to have a twin. Simasek is the only one on the roster, so if he does have a twin, he doesn't play baseball for St. Xavier. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Better than Tripletsburg. That place has always been rough on the parents. Flare out to right field down the line, and it drops just fair on top of the foul line. A base hit for Simasek, who heads into second with a 1-out double. First hit of the ball game, first base runner of the game for either team. And it comes on a not particularly hard hit ball. But Simasek was able to poke it in just the right spot. On top of the foul line, out in shallow right field, it rolled down into the bullpen. And the first hit of the game is a double with 1 out in the top of the second inning in front of Connor Hutchings. Hutchings gets his first at bat against Ryan Daly today, a .333 batter. With a homer and a team leading 16 runs knocked in. Hutchings takes strike 1 high in the zone. Ryan Daly has been the best starter for St. Francis this year, coming into play today, 1-1 with a .415 ERA in 2 starts. He clips the outer edge of the plate, 0-2. Daly came into today with a team-high 13 innings pitched, 6 runs allowed, 9 hits, 4 walks, and 19 strikeouts. How about that number? 19 strikeouts, only 4 walks in 13 innings. Ball 1 on Hutchings. 1 out, 1 on. Here in the top of the second inning. Daly's been good with a .415 ERA. Not a bad number, but his other numbers would indicate he should probably even be better than that. As there's a sharp 1 hopper to short, fielded cleanly by Brian Hidalgo, and the throw to first is in time for out number 2. Simasek forced to hold at second base on the play. 1 on with 2 outs, and it's up to Nick Altabelli to get this run in. Including today's action, Daly has a whip now of under 1. Just 14 base runners allowed in 14 2/3 innings pitched. Problem has been keeping the ball in the ballpark. He's allowed 2 homers in his first 2 starts. Ball outside, 1-0 on Altabelli. And again, that's something that'll probably be cleaned up here in Chicagoland, because today is beautiful, but there are going to be some cold games. The ball doesn't carry quite as well. Popped foul and out of play, 1-1. This is a pretty spacious park, not the easiest place to knock one out. 348 down the left field line, 400 to straightaway center. A little bit easier in right field. Shorter porch for left-handed pull hitters, 327 down the right field line. Ball outside, 2-1. They had to push that left field fence back a ways a few years ago when they installed the artificial turf here to make it big enough that it could hold soccer games if they want to. Fouled off to the right, out of play. And the count evens, 2 balls and 2 strikes. John Simasek hit a 1-out double. He stands at second base right now, but Ryan Daly is 1 strike away from getting out of the inning untouched. Pickoff throw to second base. Simasek dives back to the bag. Slight breeze fluttering today from left to right primarily. Ball high, full count. First 3-ball count to the game from Daly. So 3-2, runner at second base, scoreless tie. And yes, we're very early in this game, but both pitchers have looked really good. It is a shorter game here. So every run is going to be magnified a little bit. The pickoff throw back to second again sends Simasek diving back to the bag. It's just a 7-inning contest, so runs scored earlier are a little bit weightier than they would be in a 9-inning game. Payoff pitch, righty to righty. Foul back. We'll do it again. Parchamenko waits on deck. But Altobelli needs to reach base to get him up. Altobelli's just a 171 batter so far this year. 6 for 35. And he looks at strike 3 to end the inning. Third strikeout of the game for Ryan Daly. He pitches around the 1-out double. Simasek is left at second base. We'll go to the bottom of inning number 2. Scoreless. St. Francis will try to break a scoreless tie in the bottom of the second inning. Middle of the order coming up. Jake Klepash leads things up. Hidalgo Vickers to follow. Facing Nico Saldias, who looked awfully good in the first inning. He misses up high for ball 1. Went 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts and threw just 9 pitches. The one out of the left-handed hitting right fielder, Jake Klepash, is popped up to shallow center field. Drifting back on it is the shortstop, Hutchings. Hutchings reaches back and makes the grab for the first out. Off the bat, I thought that might be trouble. It looked a little too shallow for Sean Moore, which did prove to be the case. But Hutchings was able to get back on it in enough time, make a nice over-the-shoulder grab. 4 up, 4 down on just 11 pitches against Saldias, and here's Brian Hidalgo. Hidalgo starting his 5th game this year. He's 2 for 9 at the plate, 1 RBI. He takes ball 1 low and away. St. Xavier comes into play today with an overall record of 7-10. Their first conference game of the season today. First game in Illinois as Hidalgo swings and misses, 1-1. Same thing with St. Francis. Midwest schools typically will start things off with southern swings. Try to avoid some of that bad weather in late February. Ground ball to second, throw to first is in time, 2 away. Fighting Saints did actually play one home game in February against Lewis University, the crosstown rivals. Picked up a win in that one. It's an impressive win against a Division II school. Saints' other win came against Georgia Gwinnett, the number 2 team in the country, who swept St. Xavier in a 4-game series. Seems to have a handful of common opponents early in the year. So the Saints came home at 2-9 as the overall record. There's a fly ball into center field. Sean Moore goes back and makes the catch. 1-2-3, bottom of the second inning. Still no base runners for the Fighting Saints. We'll go to the third. 0-0. Scoreless at the top of the third inning of the CCAC opener. 8-9-1 due up for St. Xavier. Sebastian Parchimenko leads things off and takes ball 1 from Ryan Daly. Little flare double down the right field line for John Simasek is the only hit through 2 innings for either team. Just a little bit high from Daly. 2-0 on Parchimenko. Sebastian Parchimenko is a 182 hitter, 4 for 22 so far this year. He swings through a fastball, 2-1. I was talking last inning about how neither of these teams has played much in Illinois to start the year. St. Francis had the home game to open things up before they went down south. Popped foul and out of play, 2-2. St. Xavier's taken a chance with a few home games as well. But again, the first conference game of the year today. So it'll be pretty much all in this area the rest of the way. Chicagoland. That's why they play in the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 4 strikeouts already for Daly. And he gets Parchimenko swinging. The third swinging strikeout of the game. We've reached the bottom of the order with 1 out in the third inning. And Dreyer will be the batter. Noah Dreyer, a freshman from Brookfield, Wisconsin, in the Milwaukee area, takes ball 1. Looking for his first collegiate hit. He's 0 for 5. Ball up and in, 2-0. So going back to last inning, that's 3 consecutive hitters that Daly has fallen behind. Back-to-back 2-0 counts to open this inning. Dreyer flies it sky high center field. Long run back for Cliff Vickers. Vickers looks up and that ball is gone. It is the first college hit for Noah Dreyer, and it leaves the yard, a solo home run in the top of the third inning, and St. Xavier takes a 1-0 lead. It hit the batter's eye behind the center field wall and ricocheted right back onto the field. So an easy one for Dreyer to collect and save if he wants to. Back to the top of the order and Sean Moore. Two umpires get together to talk something over before Sean Moore's second at bat. Moore is 0 for 1 with a ground out. 1-0. St. Xavier has the lead on the solo home run from Noah Dreyer. Now the umpires are talking to St. Xavier's coach Addison Rouse. Rouse is in his 4th year coaching St. Xavier. Brian Mahalik over in the other dugout, 13th season as the head coach at St. Francis. A couple of long-time conference rivals, the Cougars and the Fighting Saints. It's a long discussion between the two umpires and Addison Rouse. I have no idea what it's about, but it usually isn't good for the coach that you're talking to. Two umpires aren't going to get together and ask him his favorite flavor of ice cream. Nor are they going to get together and say, hey, St. Francis did something wrong. We just thought you should know. Usually it's about something negative regarding St. Xavier, and Rouse's body language would indicate that he's not happy about something. Shaking his head a little bit as they look into the third base dugout together. This came up after the Noah Dreyer home run. Sean Moore stepped into the batter's box, and Ryan Daly was ready to pitch to get this at-bat started, and first base umpire is the one who halted play and came down to home plate to have a talk with his partner before they discuss things with Rouse. They're looking at their lineup cards right now. Did somebody perhaps bat out of order? That would typically be the issue where the umpires are talking with the coach and looking at their lineup cards, that maybe the lineup that we were given was different than the one that the umpires were given before the game. So Addison Rouse has retreated back towards the dugout. And now it's just the two umpires having a discussion, comparing their own notes. So if Dreyer was batting out of order when he hit that home run, or if something was amiss in regards to the lineup card, that run could be taken off the board for St. Xavier, which again would be big. Obviously every run is big, but I was talking about it last inning in a game like this where both pitchers look really sharp to start the game off. And in just a 7-inning game, a run in the third looks huge, where it wouldn't always. A 1-0 game in the top of the third. As the trailing side, you might not be too worried, but you're facing a pitcher who has looked unhittable through 2 innings. You only got 5 more innings to get him back. Down 1-0 is a big deal. So if that run had to be taken off the board, that's big news. Brian Mahalik popped out of the Saints dugout. He's been looking on from the home plate circle for a while now. He's as out of the loop at this point as I am. The umpires only talked things over with Addison Rouse, so Mahalik understandably was a little concerned what's going on. Finally, the umpires came to talk to him, and now he's back to the dugout, satisfied with whatever they told him. And we will continue with no difference on the scoreboard as Daly winds up for his first pitch to Sean Moore, which is bunted foul. We're back underway. Strike 1 on Moore. 1 out, nobody on in the top of the third inning. The score is apparently 1-0 St. Xavier. It's a long discussion to have ultimately nothing come out of it. Ball low and in, 1-1. It's of course possible that the umpires just figured we don't get enough time to talk to each other during the game. I'm standing behind home plate, you're out in the field. The first base umpire has stopped play again. He pointed over towards third base. He and Addison Rouse are yelling at each other now from across the field. Rouse is walking down the third base line, sort of towards them. So I get the feeling that maybe the two umpires feel like they don't get to talk enough. Maybe they want to have more conversations. But Addison Rouse probably feels like he's talked to the umpire enough. Strike called right down the pike. 1-2 on Sean Moore. Again, I'm confused because obviously the umps had something to say to Rouse that indicated that St. Xavier had done something wrong. Ball inside. St. Xavier coach wasn't happy with the conversation, but nothing changed on the scoreboard. Moore keeps the at-bat alive by fouling one off to the left side. Still 2-2. Addison Rouse is still unhappy. Still jawing back and forth with the umpire all the way across the field. But again, nothing came of it. Nobody was ejected. The run remains on the board for the Cougars. Full count pitch to Moore. Up high, walked him. First walk of the ball game issued by Ryan Daly, and Sean Moore comes back from being behind in the count 1-2 to take first base. I don't know how much, if anything, that had to do with the delay. That's one of the many reasons, as an umpire, you would prefer not to delay action for a long period of time the way they did. You don't want to see the pitcher lose his rhythm. St. Xavier doesn't mind so much. You could argue he wasn't in a rhythm. He just gave up a home run. Fair enough. Justin Massingale takes the first pitch for ball one. So all of a sudden, Daly, who started out really well throwing strikes, has had some problems with his control. He's only given up the one walk, but he's fallen behind 4 of the last 5 hitters. Runner on the move. They pick him off at first base. Throw goes down to second, and there's the tag for out number 2. It'll go 1-3-4 on a caught stealing rather than a pickoff. Moore did take off immediately. So he's caught for the first time this year. He had been 7 of 7 swiping bags. But he's the second out, and the bases are now empty. One 1-0 on Justin Massingale. Ball high, 2-0. It's a big second out because specifically of the fact that Daly has been struggling with his command. There's a strike, 2-1. With the bases empty and 2 outs, you can be a little bit more liberal with your pitch selection. Not that you want to walk Massingale here as he takes a ball high, 3-1. But there's not quite as much risk as there would have been with a man on first or at second base if he had successfully stolen. Swing and a miss. May have chased ball 4 there. A fastball outside. The count goes full. It's been a rocky inning for Daly, but he's 1 strike away from getting out of it, allowing just the 1 run. And there it is. Swing and a miss. And the inning is over. 5 strikeouts for Daly through 3 innings. St. Xavier gets on the board on a home run from Noah Dreyer, his first collegiate hit. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Cougars. Bottom 3, St. Francis will try to get the run back that they allowed in the top of the 3rd on the Noah Dreyer home run. Bottom of the order due up for the Fighting Saints. Max Montgomery takes ball one up and away from Nico Saldias. Saldias is not allowed a base runner yet. 6 up, 6 down, 2 strikeouts. He's only thrown 15 pitches through 2 innings. Popped foul off to the right side, out of play by Max Montgomery, 1-1. Montgomery trying to break up Saldias' streak to begin this game. .318 batter, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs this year, .348 on base percentage. He takes a strike at the knees, 1-2. Montgomery, John McGuire, and Jake Murda. 3 straight M names to begin this inning. Back-to-back JMs after Montgomery. Barely gets a piece this one and dribbles it down the third base line. It rolls foul, and it'll remain there as the catcher Evan Orzek touches it. And foul ground, still 1-2 on Montgomery. If anybody reaches, Alex Martinez bats this inning, so we've reached that part of the batting order. Longest at bat of the game already for a Fighting Saint against Saldias, who's trying to put him away, looking for his 3rd strikeout of the game. He misses below the knees, 2-2, and this is his first 2-ball count of the game. Top of the 3rd wasn't a short inning, which is usually good for a pitcher because it means maybe he got some run support. But I was talking about it last inning as Saldias misses high for ball 3. That you don't want too long a rest as a pitcher to mess up your rhythm at all, and Saldias was very definitely in a rhythm. This will be his 7th pitch to Max Montgomery leading off the 3rd. Ground ball weakly hit right side, scooped up by the first baseman Parchamenko. He flips to the pitcher covering the bag, 1 away. So he threw more pitches to Montgomery than he threw in the entire 2nd inning. But ultimately, same result that everybody who has faced Saldias today has reached, which is he's retired. 7 up, 7 down. Here's the veteran John McGuire. Senior infielder bats 8th in the lineup today. Pops up the first pitch into right field. Nick Altabelli is under it. He makes the grab. 2 down. So Saldias back on track with a first pitch out. That's his 3rd one of those today. And it brings up the 9th batter, Jake Murda. Murda's hitting .286 with an RBI. Trying to become the first base runner of the game for St. Francis. Ball 1. Three groundouts, 3 flyouts, 2 strikeouts so far. As Saldias has retired the first 8. Strike called on Murda, 1-1. Ryan Daly got off to a hot start too. He ran into the same trouble though in the top of the 3rd that has befallen him all year as Murda swings and misses 1-2. He's had a problem with those gopher balls. It's really the only problem he's had all year. 1-2. Outside corner called strike 3 and the inning is over. Murda goes down looking, 3rd strikeout of the game for Nico Saldias, who is perfect through 3. We go to the 4th inning. 1-0, Cougars on top. 1-0 St. Xavier leads after 3 innings of 7. Game 1 of a doubleheader. Cougars got a solo homer from their freshman second baseman Noah Dreyer. In the top of the third, they'll try to add to their lead here in the fourth with the heart of the order coming up. Evan Orzak, Tony Stukenberg, and John Simasek. Orzak fouls back the first pitch, strike one. We've apparently gotten an explanation on the long delay last inning when the umpires had a long talk with Addison Rouse. Ball outside 1-1. It came after Dreyer's home run. 2 reserves for St. Xavier were ejected. That ball is stroked deep down the right field line, back towards the fence, and it's gone. A wall scraper for Evan Orzak as he hits his second home run of the year. He crushed that ball on a line. I wasn't sure if it was going to be high enough to leave the park, but it just barely does get over the fence. And on their second solo home run of the game, St. Xavier doubles their lead. A muted celebration this time for the Cougars after the home run. The cause of the ejection last inning was that they were using props to celebrate the home run, which is no longer allowed. Hard hit ball down the third base line. That's a base hit for Tony Stukenberg. Around first base, he chugs for second. Montgomery comes up throwing, and he doesn't get it to second base in time. A double for Stukenberg, and all of a sudden, St. Xavier's pounding the ball. It's their 4th hit of the game. All of them have come as extra base knocks. And with nobody out, the Cougars have another runner in scoring position. Ryan Daly got off to such a good start. He retired 7 of the first 8 batters, 4 of them on strikeouts. But the second time through the order, 3 men have reached. It's gone walk, strikeout, homer, double. Strike over the outside corner, 0-1 on John Simasek. Simasek had the only hit for either side over the first 2 innings. A bloop double that landed on the right field foul line back in the second. Fouled back on a bunt, 0-2. 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors for St. Xavier. Zeros across the board for St. Francis. The Cougars are threatening to build a big lead here with a man at second base. 1 run already in this inning. In the dirt, it's blocked by Murda. Stukenberg's going to try for third anyway, and he doesn't make it. Jake Murda throws out Tony Stukenberg for the first out of the inning, and a big one as Simasek takes ball 1. Really an unnecessary risk there for Stukenberg. You've got Daly on the ropes. He's been struggling these last few innings as Simasek fouls one away. Already a runner in scoring position with nobody out. That ball did not get very far from Jake Murda. There's a softly hit 1 hopper over to second base. Martinez gloves it and throws to first, 2 down. What a turnaround there. If Stukenberg had just stayed put at second base on that pitch in the dirt, he would have been able to advance to third on that ground out to the right side of the infield, and St. Francis would be in a really tough spot. Might have to pull the infield in. Big insurance run just 90 feet away. And you can also make the argument if he had been safe at third, that ground ball would have scored him. Ball 1 outside on Hutchings, potentially. With the infield in, you don't know what would have happened. And of course, the same thing probably wouldn't have been the same pitch. It wouldn't have been the same contact. Swing and a miss, 1-1 on Connor Hutchings. Just play along with me here as we play this hypothetical game. The point is, you can make an argument that Stukenberg was just being aggressive, trying to create some runs for his team as that ball is stroked into center field. Line shot base hit for Connor Hutchings, 3rd hit of the inning for the Cougars, and a 2-out base runner. But I think at the end of the day, with nobody out, it was probably overly aggressive. Tried to hustle a third, a base that he didn't need at that moment in time. And it potentially cost St. Xavier at least one run. Ball one low and outside on Nick Altabelli. Altabelli is 0 for 1. He struck out looking at a 3-2 pitch to end the top of the second. Throw over to first, and Hutching dives back to the bag safely. 2-0 St. Xavier. Both of their runs have come on solo homers. One for Noah Dreyer in the third, one for Evan Orzek here in the fourth. Foul tipped by Altabelli. It's 1-1. There's a high pop-up right side. Jake Klepash gives it a look, but that's well out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Daly is a strike away from getting out of this inning. And again, been a bit of a trying inning for him. So if he can escape with just 1 run allowed, not a terrible frame for him. Altabelli takes high, 2-2. Gave up that run on just his 3rd pitch of the inning, as Orzek knocked it over the right field fence. Just a hair high on Altabelli there, and the count goes full once again. That'll allow Connor Hutchings to get a head start over at first base. 3-2 on Altabelli. Sebastian Parchimenko waits on deck. Ground ball left side. Circling it, Brian Hidalgo, the shortstop, grabs it and throws on the run over to first to end the inning. Nicely done by Daly and the Fighting Saints defense, as they are able to get out of a 4th inning jam. 1 run does score for St. Xavier on the solo homer for Orzek. We're halfway through this ball game. 2-0. St. Xavier has the lead. Bottom of the 4th inning. We've still got a fair amount of time left in this game, but St. Francis would like to get moving offensively here. They have not had a base runner yet, and now their lead is their deficit, I should say, is multiple runs. Martinez takes ball 1 outside. I'm trying to figure if there's any way to take a lead without getting anybody on base. The answer is definitely no. You can't get a run without having somebody reach base. Ball high, 2-0 on Martinez. Alex Martinez led off the ball game for St. Francis, grounded the first pitch over to second base. Now he's ahead in the count. Nico Saldias pitches from the stretch and misses high, 3-0. Entering today's game, Saldias had 12 walks in 21 1/3 innings, so control is not his best attribute. He misses inside, ball 4. But he had no problems with it at all prior to that at bat. In fact, prior to that 4-pitch walk of Alex Martinez to lead off this 4th inning, he had only gone to 2 balls on 1 hitter through the first 3 innings. Part of that is St. Francis has been pretty aggressive. A lot of swings early in the at-bat. But this is a departure from form. We'll see if the Fighting Saints can take advantage. Drew Dant stands in. Tries to check his swing, but he went around. That's strike one, and that looked like it was up and out of the zone. So it could have been 5 consecutive balls to start this inning for Saldias. So that's still a positive if you're St. Francis, looking at a guy who all of a sudden is struggling with his control. There's ball one, and the count is even. Has not thrown a pitch in the strike zone yet this inning. Tying run in the batter's box for the Fighting Saints. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. He chased one in the dirt. So Dant, who struck out in his first at-bat today, has been very aggressive in this second time up. Graduate student transferred from William Jewell College. Drew Dant has been so good so far this year and has not really struck out. There's a blooper out to right field, taking a step back and making the catch Altabelli. Puts Dant away for the first out. So Saldias back in form. He's retired 10 out of 11 hitters. He'll face Nate Maliska. I was just going to say, Drew Dant coming into play today had only struck out 3 times in 11 games this year. So he's been really good putting the bat on the ball, and he ultimately was in that at bat as well, but he struck out earlier today and chased a few pitches out of the zone in this 4th inning at bat. So a little uncharacteristic of him. Strike one over the outside corner on Nate Maliska. Maliska struck out swinging his first time up. Nico Saldias struck out 2 of the first 3 batters he faced. He's got 3 total right now through 3 1/3 innings. He gets Maliska to swing through strike 2. After those control issues to start this inning, he seems to be back on track. 0-2 on Maliska. Klaplash is on deck. There's a ball in the dirt. 1-2. Nate Maliska is a sophomore out of St. Lawrence High School in Burbank. Actually, not far from St. Xavier. Runner on first, 1 out. The 1-2 pitch. Up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's missed on 2 in a row, and the count is even. Cougars have hit 2 solo home runs today. St. Francis is trying to claw their way back in. Knocked down the left field line. That ball drops fair, just fair inside the line for Maliska. Alex Martinez is being waved around third base. He'll score easily as Justin Massingale struggles pulling the ball out of the corner. It's an RBI double for Nate Maliska. First hit of the ball game for the Fighting Saints, and it results in their first run today. They've cut this lead in half. For Maliska, double number 4. RBI number 5 this season. And it comes very much like the first hit of the game for St. Xavier. Just poking the ball the other way and dropping it just inside that foul line. Maliska will take it. Ground ball right side hit by Klepash. It's off the glove of the diving Parchimenko at first base. Into right field. Maliska comes around third base, and he scores all the way from second on a base hit for Klepash that ties the game 2-2. No hits through 3 1/3 innings, and now St. Francis has come up with 2 in a row, and they've resulted in 2 runs scoring. The leadoff walk comes back to haunt SXU. Jake Klepash has the RBI. It's his second this year. Brian Hidalgo is the hitter. Nice effort from Sebastian Parchimenko over at first base on that hot shot from Klepash. Ball high on Hidalgo. If he had been able to field it cleanly, he may have gotten the out at first base. Even if not, just keeping the ball out of the infield, on the infield, would have prevented the run from scoring. Ball outside, 2-0. This is where it all started with Saldias this inning. He was perfect through 3 innings, but he came out in the 4th falling behind hitters, missing all over the place. Upstairs, 3 balls and no strikes. He walked Alex Martinez on 4 pitches to begin the inning, and it's been downhill from there. RBI double for Nate Maliska. RBI single for Jake Klepash. Ball inside, another 4-pitch walk, his 2nd of the inning. And the Saints have him at 1st and 2nd now with only 1 down. Of a meeting on the mound prior to the next at bat as the entire infield gathers to try to help settle Nico Saldias down. He looked about as good as one could look through 3 innings. Faced only 9 batters, didn't allow a base runner, 3 strikeouts, a lot of quick innings. He had thrown, in fact, only 27 pitches total over the first 3. And of those 27, only 8 of them were balls. Here, this inning, he's thrown 18 pitches, and 11 of them have been balls, only 7 strikes. The only out was a Drew Dant flyout to right field. 2 walks, 1 single, 1 double this inning for the Fighting Saints, and Cliff Vickers will try to keep that wagon train rolling. Vickers is 0 for 1. Flew out to center field on the first pitch he saw in the 2nd inning. He takes a big hack and misses for strike 1. Vickers came into today's game with a .212 batting average. 4 RBIs, 1 extra base hit. Any sort of hit would have a pretty good chance of scoring a run here. Ball high, 1-1. With runners at 1st and 2nd. Ball up and away, 2-1. Action in the St. Xavier bullpen now as all of a sudden Fighting Saints have Saldias on the ropes. It's a right-hander warming up. Heath Mann, I believe. Ripped down the right field line. That's cutting foul. And it lands in the right field bullpen. 2-2 on Vickers. Runners were off to the races on that sharp line drive. They have to return to their starting points. Hidalgo at 1st, Klepash at 2nd. Max Montgomery is the on-deck batter. As Vickers tries to give St. Francis their first lead of the game. Fly ball out to right center field. This is a long run for Altobelli, and he can't reach it. That ball one-hops the wall. An extra base hit for Vickers. Klepash comes in to score. Brian Hidalgo stops at 3rd base. It's the 3rd hit of the inning for the Fighting Saints. And for the first time today, they have the lead, 3-2. Second extra base hit of this 4th inning for the Fighting Saints. A double for Vickers, his 2nd of the season. His 5th RBI. Here's Max Montgomery. Hidalgo was just a little bit slow to get started on that one from first base. Had to wait to make sure that Altobelli wasn't going to make the catch. Max Montgomery flips the first pitch foul to right field, strike 1. So he was unable to score, but he still did make it to 3rd base with only 1 out. And with 2 runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs, St. Xavier pulls their entire infield in. The 0-1 to Montgomery. Swing and a miss. He chased one downstairs. 0-2. Montgomery worked the count full before grounding out to the first baseman in his first at bat, leading off the third. He's the 7th man to hit this inning for the Saints. They sent 9 men up in the first 3 innings combined. 0-2. Ball 1 outside. Been a very long inning for the junior Nico Saldias. 6-footer from Canada. Pitches from the stretch at all times. The 1-2 fouled off once again. Sometimes you see a guy who hasn't given up any base runners for a long period of time. Forced to pitch from the stretch for the first time, it throws them off, but that's not the case with Saldias, who did not face a base runner in the first 3 innings. He pitches from the stretch even with nobody on, so you can't make that argument, at least. That's one argument you can't make about why he's fallen apart here in the 4th. Second time through the batting order has hurt him. Montgomery fouls it back off the screen behind home plate. You'll see a 6th pitch. Martinez led off with a walk. Then with 1 out, Meliska doubled. Klepash singled. Hidalgo walked. Vickers doubled. Montgomery hit a foul ball. In fact, he hit a bunch of them. That's, I think, his 4th foul ball of the at-bat. We'll see a 7th pitch. Montgomery's another Saint sophomore from St. Lawrence High School. One of the premier programs in the state of Illinois. Swing and a miss. Montgomery goes down on strikes. And a big out recorded right there by Nico Saldias. That's one occasion where Montgomery just had to make contact. Wasn't able to do it. Brings up John McGuire. Still runners at second and third, but now with 2 outs, the infield is able to back up for St. Xavier. McGuire will likely need a hit to get these runs in. Maybe not. Off the glove of the catcher, Evan Orzak, and Brian Hidalgo waltzes across the plate. It's 4-2 St. Francis. Both runners move up on ball 1 to John McGuire. Pitch was well high, but it did hit Orzak on the glove, so I would guess pass ball will be the ruling. Could go either way, though. 1-0 on McGuire. 4 runs in the inning for St. Francis. They trailed 2-0 after 3.5. One-0 pitch. Fouled back off the screen. 1-1. Saldias is 1 out away from getting out of the inning, but it has been a long bottom of the 4th. Fly ball out to right field. Altobelli has to chase it back to the warning track, and he can't reach it. Over his head and off the wall, an extra base hit from McGuire, who heads to third base. The relay throw is not in time. It's an RBI triple for John McGuire, and the Fighting Saints lead is 5-2. They're wearing Nick Altobelli out in right field. He's had a lot of chases to make, and that time he collided with the wall at the end of the play and is slow to get up. He's still down on the warning track out in right field. We'll send the training staff out to have a look at him. For John McGuire, that's the first triple of the year, his 3rd extra base hit. It's his 3rd RBI, and it's the 3rd extra base hit of the inning for St. Francis. Altobelli is all right. He was slow to resurrect himself, but once he did, he immediately waved off any help. Still a man in scoring position for St. Francis. After the triple from McGuire, here's Jake Murda, the 9th man to hit this inning. Murda ended the last inning on a strikeout. Ball one in the dirt on Murda. Saldias' next pitch over the outside corner. Count is even, 1-1. Righty to righty, the next toss. Swung out once again, unsuccessfully. It's 1-2. 37th pitch of the inning. Coming up from Nico Saldias, and it could be his last. So he looks to strike out Murda, and he does. Chases one up high, and the inning comes to a close. Second strikeout of the inning. 5th of the ball game for Saldias, but it was not the inning he was hoping for. Fighting Saints score 5 runs on 4 hits, a couple of walks. They leave a man at third base. We go to the 5th. All of a sudden, the Saints are in control. 5-2 the lead. Top of the 5th, Ryan Daly retakes his spot on the hill. His first pitch to Sebastian Parchamenko is lifted into foul ground right side but playable. Nate Maliska shields his eyes from the sun and makes the catch. Nearly lost that ball at the end of the play, but he was able to hang on for the first out of the 5th inning. Parchamenko is 0 for 2, and a great start to the frame for Daly, who has struggled to keep the ball in the ballpark so far this year and this game, and was in some trouble the last time he went back to the dugout, but is in complete control now as he starts this inning. Here's Noah Dreyer taking a breaking ball outside, 1-0. Dreyer, the right-handed hitting freshman, homered to straightaway center field for the first run of the ball game. Back in the top of the 3rd, he takes a ball here, 2-0. Number 9 batter for Addison Rouse's club. Fouled straight back, 2-1. Ryan Daly got off to a really strong start. Retired 7 of the first 8 batters he faced, 4 of them on strikes. Ball low and away, it's 3-1. Then he gave up the home run to Dreyer. Gave up another home run the next inning to Evan Orzak. Went through a stretch where 5 out of 7 hitters reached base for St. Xavier. Fouled away, and the count is 3-2. Trying to get back on track here. He retired the leadoff man, looking to make it 2 in a row. Line drive out to right field, back towards the warning track. A diving effort from Klepash, but he can't pull it in. Extra bases for Dreyer. He stops at second. And after coming into today, 0 for 5 on the season, he's 2 for 2 in this game with a double and a home run. It's a big boost to a Cougars team that had really lost their momentum, lost a little bit of the energy in the dugout. And now they've got a runner over at second base with only one down. The batter is Sean Moore. Well, I mentioned that the second time through the batting order, Ryan Daly really struggled. He recorded back-to-back outs only once when he retired Altabelli to end the fourth and then Parchimenko to lead off the fifth. Sean Moore takes strike one. He's only retired 4 batters the last 2 innings. Ball inside, 1-1. 2 of those 6 outs were recorded on caught stealings in the third and fourth. 1-1. Chopper right side, that's a foul ball. 1-2. He's not likely to find himself caught stealing here with Dreyer at second base. You never know. Tony Stukenberg was caught trying to steal third on a would-be passed ball or wild pitch, but Murda was able to toss him out. Inside on Moore, 2-2. Sean Moore began the game with a ground out to second base. Last time up he walked, so he's 0 for 1. He was one of those players caught stealing. Check swing roller to the right. Charging is the second baseman Martinez. He bobbles it and has no play. Sean Moore is aboard, and they are at the corners with only 1 out. No doubt Moore's speed put a little extra pressure on Alex Martinez there, but it's still a pretty routine play. If he had gloved it cleanly, I don't think there's any question he would have had Moore at first base. Noah Dreyer advances to third on the E4. First error of the game on either team. With 2 on and 1 out, Justin Massingale represents the tying run in the batter's box. This game has really changed. First 3 innings, I thought we were getting a classic pitcher's duel. Ever since then, it's been anything but. Hard grounder to second, could be 2. Flipped over to second base for 1 out. Martinez's relay throw is on the money, and Justin Massingale is retired 6-4-3 to retire the Cougars in the top of the 5th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the frame. 5-2, St. Francis leads. Bottom of the 5th. St. Francis trying to pile on. They put up 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning and consequently have a 3-run lead. They'll send the top of the order up against a new St. Xavier pitcher. Heath Mann has checked in out of the bullpen. They'll face Alex Martinez to start the bottom of the 5th inning. The right-hander's first pitch is fouled back by Martinez. Strike one. Heath Mann is a sophomore from Ohio, appearing for the 6th time this year. 0-1 record and even 3 ERA. In 12 innings, he's allowed 6 runs, 4 of them earned on 9 hits, with 8 strikeouts and 8 walks. He gets ahead of Martinez, 0-2. Alex Martinez led off the 1st inning with a ground out. He led off the 4th with a walk, and that's what started all that trouble for St. Xavier. Ball downstairs, 1-2. Final line on the starting pitcher, Nico Saldias. 4 innings, 5 runs, all of them earned. He allowed 4 hits, 2 walks, and he struck out 5. Ball outside, 2-2. Aside from the strikeouts, all of those other numbers came in only the 4th inning. All 4 hits, all 5 runs, both of the walks. He was perfect through 3. 2-2 from Mann. Outside, full count. That bat has gone kind of typical. It has been kind of typical of a Heath Mann at bat. Started out 0-2, missed on 3 in a row. He's had walk problems this year. Got good stuff when he can get it over the plate, but he can't. Ball 4. It's his 9th walk issued in just 12 innings pitched. And Martinez is aboard via the free pass for the 2nd time today. Worked out pretty well last time. Here's Drew Dant. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. Ground ball to third under the glove of John Simasek and into shallow left field. Dant is aboard. Martinez moves up to second base. And the Fighting Saints are cooking here with 2 on and nobody out. Let's see if this one is called a hit or an error. It was a hard hit ball, not an easy play for Simasek. But it did hit him right in the glove. And it has been ruled E5. Nate Meliska is 1 for 2 with an RBI double and a run scored. Meliska bunts, third base side. Heath Mann pops off the mound. Barehands it and throws to first in time. Nicely done by Mann, but nicely done by Meliska as well. As he sacrifices himself, gets Dant up to second base and Martinez to third with only 1 down. RBI chance here for Jake Klepash, who already has 1 today. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. I don't know that you could say that this would put the game away on a base hit, but it would make a comeback awfully difficult for St. Xavier. A hit could score 2 and make it a 5-run lead. First pitch from Mann is off the glove of Orzek, and this will bring in a run. 6-2. Second time today that St. Francis has scored a run on an errant pitch off the glove of Evan Orzek. Dant advances to third on the play. No RBI for Klepash. But a run is on the board for the Saints. They now have 6 of them on only 4 hits. 1-0 count. Over the outside corner, 1-1. This is game 1 of a doubleheader. Game 2 will start about a half hour after this one. It'll go 9 innings. This is just a 7-inning contest. So the Saints are in good shape, just 6 outs away from a win. Over the outside corner once again. 1-2. Pitch was a little further out than it was supposed to be. Orzek had to reach for it. Sometimes it's hard to get a call when you're reaching that much as a catcher, but they do get it here. There's a high fly ball into left center field. This should be deep enough to score the run as Sean Moore, the center fielder, makes the catch. Dant tags and scores standing up. It's a sacrifice fly for Jake Klepash, and the lead is 7-2. Klepash has his second RBI of the ball game and third of the season. Well, at least if you're Heath Mann, that resets things for you. The base is empty, 2 outs. You can just focus on Brian Hidalgo, and if he gets him out, we'll head to the 6th. Fouled back, strike 1. Hidalgo is 0 for 1 in the game. He grounded out his first time up. Last time around, he drew a walk and eventually came around to score. Oh and 1. Hidalgo lifts it foul to the left side over the St. Xavier dugout. That's out of play. And the Saints are down to their final strike of the 5th inning. 0 and 2. 2 runs are in this inning without a hit. A walk, an error, a sacrifice, and then a sacrifice fly with a pass ball thrown in there as well. The 0-2. Inside, ball 1. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Cougars in the top of the 6th. Ryan Daly's gone all 5 so far. He's in line for the victory. He does have 1 complete game already this year. Fouled back. Still 1 and 2. We'll see if Brian Mahalik wants to give him a chance at another today. There is somebody loosely throwing in the St. Francis's bullpen. Popped up, foul right side off the screen. Still 1 and 2 on Hidalgo. 5 pitches into the at-bat. Cliff Vickers will bat next if Hidalgo reaches. Check swing. He was not able to hold himself up. Strike 3 on a peel down the first base line. So the inning comes to a close. 2 runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left. We go to the 6th. 7-2, St. Francis. St. Xavier led this game 2-0, but now it's St. Francis trying to hold on to a pretty hefty advantage. 7-2 is our score. 7 unanswered runs for the home side over the last 2 innings. And now it's Ryan Daly back to the mound to face the 3, 4, and 5 batters for St. Xavier. Evan Orzak leads things off and takes strike 1. Orzak grounded out his first time up, led off the 4th inning, and hit a solo homer that just cleared the right field fence. Ball low and away, 1-1. Orzak Stukenberg, Simasek due up this inning. Fouled back. Orzek just got underneath it. 1-2. Ryan Daly's gotten some help from his defense the last few innings. Double play, a couple of caught stealings. Helped him out of tough spots as Orzek flies this one into left field, not terribly deep. Max Montgomery starts to back up and he drops the ball. Orzek heads to second base and he is aboard to lead off the 6th inning. I said it wasn't terribly deep, but it was deeper than Montgomery thought it was going to be. He started in and had to adjust last second. Started drifting backwards. And he did get to the spot, but he was a little bit off balance as he got there, and the ball popped out of his glove. Goes as an error on the left fielder. 2-base error. Puts Orzek at second base to begin the inning. And Tony Stukenberg is the batter. Stukenberg is 1 for 2. He doubled in the 4th inning. Ball 1 outside on Stukenberg. Daly's next pitch misses the outside corner. 2-0. That error on Montgomery out in left field is the second error of the last 2 innings committed by USF. Ball high, 3-0. The way things have been going for Daly, it's taken some of those extra outs that I mentioned, a double play and a couple of caught stealings, to get him out of the last few innings. St. Xavier's threatened to score a lot more. Stukenberg takes a strike over the outside corner. Troy Stukenberg, not Tony, sorry. 3 balls and a strike. Fouled back. Count goes full. Runner at second base with nobody out. Daly fell behind 3-0, came back to load the count, but he loses him anyway. And Stukenberg is on base for the 2nd time today. It's a walk to put him at first and second. Daly struck out 5 batters over the first 3 innings. Doesn't have any strikeouts since. Give up just 2 hits over the first 3 innings. He's given up 4 since. And that was his 2nd walk of the game. Meeting on the mound as both pitchers started out great in this game. And I guess that's the kind of thing that you get at this stage of the season. Guys' arms aren't fully stretched out. Still working on building up their strength to get to where they want to be in the season. So you might see a handful of games like this where a guy looks unhittable and then he just runs out of gas early. Really, the way this game started through 3 innings, I don't think anybody would have projected that there'd be 9 runs on the board right now. Just a ton of base runners. First 6 half innings of this game, 4 of them were perfect. Nothing close since then. Cougars have had at least 2 base runners in 4 consecutive frames, and yet their only runs have been on solo homers. John Simasek takes strike 1. Simasek is 1 for 2 with a double. Takes a breaker below the knees, 1-1. 2 runners on base, nobody out. This might be a bunting situation under a lot of circumstances, but down 5 late in the game is not one of those circumstances. Fouled back, 1-2. So Daly is ahead of Simasek here. Has a chance to put him away. It would be a huge first out. And again, they're up 5. She'll take the out any way you could get it. If it means the runners advance, it's okay. Line drive up the middle. That's a base hit into center. Simasek has his 2nd hit of the game. Orzek stops at third base. Stukenberg is up to second. They're loaded with nobody out. 3rd straight hitter to see a 2-strike count this inning. Daly hasn't been able to put him away. saw a two-base error, then a walk, and now a solid base hit, the 7th safety of the game for the Cougars. Here's Connor Hutchings. Hutchings hits a weak roller to second base. Alex Martinez tags the runner, throws to first, and throws it away. Here comes Troy Stukenberg around third base. The throw goes into second, and now they've got Hutchings in a rundown. The tag is applied by Ryan Daly for the second out of the inning. 2 runs score on the play, but it's a bizarre double play, and the bases are empty. That was strange. You don't see that very often. Bases loaded. A guy hits into a double play, 2 runs score. Usually, unless it's a grand slam, you're not going to go from bases loaded to nobody on one play. But that's exactly what we saw right there. Hutchings, on the wild throw to first, tried to advance to second base. And unless I missed something, that should be 6-3. I'm sorry, 4-3-6-1 on the out. There is an error on the play because a run came in to score on the wild throw. But the out was eventually recorded as Altabelli fouls back the first pitch for strike 1. Ball 1, the count is even. So it's fielder's choice, 4 unassisted, and then E4 to let the run score. And then the second out on the play is recorded 3-6-1. Don't quote me on that. 2-1 on Altabelli. Altabelli is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. He sends this one a mile high out to shallow right field. Martinez backs up, both feet on the outfield grass, makes the catch. And the inning comes to a close. St. Xavier gets themselves back in it with a couple of runs. Nobody left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th, 7-4. Top of the 6th inning, or bottom of the 6th inning, rather. Fighting Saints trying to add some insurance with Cliff Vickers, Max Montgomery, and John McGuire due up. Facing Heath Mann on for his 2nd inning of work. First pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. 7-4 is our score. Strike over the outside corner, 0-2. Cougars scored 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 6th. St. Francis scored 5 in the 4th and 2 in the 5th. It's a line drive into center field, and Cliff Vickers is aboard, his 2nd hit of the game. He's 2 for 3, and on an 0-2 pitch, leadoff man reaches. 3rd straight inning that the leadoff man has been on base for the Saints. During the first 3 innings, nobody was on base. Here's Max Montgomery. He's 0 for 2. Montgomery's the only man who has not reached base for the Fighting Saints today, which is amazing when you consider that nobody reached base through the first 3 innings. Ball 1 on Montgomery, who was looking to bunt. So that means 8 out of 9 batters have been on at least once over just the last 2 frames. Montgomery gets the bunt down right side. It's foul. And that goes as strike 1. Last inning, the Saints scored 2 runs without any hits. Then in the top of the 6th inning, St. Xavier scored 2 runs on only 1 hit. This was a really clean game early. Well pitched, good defense. It's turned around. There have been a lot of base runners, a lot of defensive mistakes, 4 errors combined between the 2 teams, and a lot of just really bizarre plays. 1-1 is swung on and grounded to the left side. Scooped up by the shortstop Hutchings. Long throw to first, not in time. It's an infield base hit for Max Montgomery, who beats out the throw from Hutchings. It was well played by Hutchings, but just a very softly hit ball, and they didn't have enough time to get Montgomery. So now everybody has reached base. Check that. Jake Murda still has not. So it had been 7 of 9, not 8. Now it's 8 of 9. Murda will get his chance up next, barring a triple play here. John McGuire's the batter, 1 for 2 with an RBI triple. He may be bunting. Corner infielders think he will be, and he is. But he pulls the bat back and takes ball 1. Montgomery tried to bunt the first couple of pitches. He caught the Cougars off guard by swinging away on 1-1. And he achieved his mission of advancing the runner, but with the added bonus of reaching first base himself as well. McGuire pulls the bat back again. That's way outside, 2-0. Heath Mann has allowed 2 runs through an inning plus, 1 of them earned. There's a bunt foul for McGuire, 2-1. Starter Nico Saldias allowed 5 runs over 4 innings. They were all earned. Ryan Daly is in line for the victory for St. Francis. He's gone the distance so far. We'll see if Brian Mahalik trusts him to try to finish off what he started in the 7th. 2 balls, 1 strike. There's a bunt down the third base line, and that's foul. It's 2-2. So Max Montgomery ultimately pulled the bunt back, got himself a base hit. See if McGuire is asked to bunt with 2 strikes or if the sacrifice is called off here. Quick glance to second base, the 2-2. It is swung on and grounded to the left side. Grabbed by the third baseman Simasek. His throw is in time. And so McGuire, without the benefit of the bunt, does advance the base runners. No sacrifice for him. It'll count against his batting average, but he did exactly what he set out to do in that at-bat. Move both men into scoring position. Here's Jake Murda. Or is it? Looks like we got a pinch hitter. Brant Singler steps up as the pinch hitter. Singler gets his first at-bat of the game. Junior transfer from Benedictine, Division III institution out in Lisle, Illinois. Singler is 3 for 8 this year with 1 run batted in. He swings the first pitch and fouls it back, strike 1. There's still only 1 out in the inning. Infield in at all 4 spots for St. Xavier. They just got 2 runs back to try to make a game of this. They can ill afford to see another one score for St. Francis. Ball inside, 1-1. Saints have led by as many as 5 in this game. Initially, St. Xavier led 2-0 thanks to a pair of solo homers. One. Inside, 2 balls and a strike. And a little meeting on the mound with Evan Orzak. The line on Heath Mann coming into today was trouble with his command. Well, he walked the first batter he faced, but he really has not had control issues since then. However, he's fallen behind Singler here, 2-0. Big insurance runs at second and third. 2-1 to Brant Singler, the left-handed hitter off the bench. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Mann has thrown twice as many strikes as balls. Given up 2 hits this inning. One of them was on the infield. Outside, full count. And those are the first 2 hits he's allowed in his inning and a third. So at the end of the day, he may have a rough stat line. He's already allowed 2 runs. 2 men on base are his responsibility, but he hasn't pitched poorly. He's only allowed, again, the 2 hits. One of them was an infield single. He's walked just 1. Ground ball up the middle. That'll squirt through to center field. Vickers comes across the plate. Max Montgomery as well. It's a 2-run single off the bench for Brant Singler, and the lead is back up to 5. Nice work by Singler. On a 3-2 pitch, he takes it right back up the middle. We're back to the top of the order and Alex Martinez, and we're also back to Jake Murda in the game. That's what you don't see every day. Catcher pinch running, essentially for himself. Oh, he's not going to run. So they had to reinsert him into the game. I understand now. The pinch runner is Brent Blytek at first base. The reason for that is you can put in a courtesy runner for the catcher. And that's why I said it's something you don't see every day. Usually you see the catcher come out when he gets on base, replaced with the courtesy runner. So it was weird to see the catcher come back in as a pinch runner. But in fact, because Murda had been pinch hit for, you can't have a courtesy runner for the pinch hitter. So you have to reinsert the catcher back into the game before you can put in the courtesy runner. I hope that all makes sense. This makes sense for Martinez, a line drive into center field. A base hit for him. Blytek makes it into third. As the throw goes into third, Martinez takes second. Heads up base running by Alex Martinez. Blytek, who just came on as the courtesy runner 1 pitch ago, is already at third base. He was running on the pitch, and that paid off handsomely for the Fighting Saints. Martinez is on base for the 3rd consecutive inning. Here's Drew Dant. Infield in again for St. Xavier. They're right back to where they were a moment ago. Runners at second and third, and only 1 out. Strike 1 called on Drew Dant. The 0-1 finds the zone, 0-2. Dant is 0 for 3 in this game. He reached on an error and scored in the 5th. Saints have 4 hits this inning as Dant takes ball 1. They had only 4 hits all game at the start of this inning, and Yet a 7-4 lead. All 8 of their hits have come in 2 innings, 4 in the 4th, 4 in the 6th. And this time around, they've all been singles as Dant swings and misses for strike 3. It's a big second out for Heath Mann. With 2 down, Nate Maliska is the Saints' final hope for more offense this inning. Already in good shape, up 5, just 3 outs away from a Game 1 victory. Remember, Game 2 will come up shortly after this one is completed. About a half hour or so. Nate Maliska swings the first pitch, grounds it right to the shortstop. Hutchings gathers and throws to first to end the inning. Saints miss out on a golden opportunity late, putting runners at second and third with 1 out and not scoring. But prior to that, they already put 2 runs across on 4 hits. So as we head to the 7th, St. Francis is in command, a 9-4 advantage, 3 outs away from a Game 1 win. Top of the 7th inning, last chance for St. Xavier. The Fighting Saints have gone to their bullpen. They bring in the sophomore Zach Blazekovich. His team leading 6th appearance this year. No record, an 11.05 ERA. His first pitch to Sebastian Parchamenko is fouled off for strike 1. Blazekovich has pitched 7 1/3 innings this year. He's allowed 14 runs, 9 of them earned on 16 hits. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Opponents are batting .432 against him. Line shot into center field, and that'll up the batting average a little bit. Parchamenko is on for the first time today, a leadoff single. It was an interesting day today for the starting pitcher Ryan Daly. And in the end, a fine performance for him. He allowed 4 runs over 6 innings, only 2 of them earned. Another line drive, this one into left field, and a base hit for Noah Dreyer. Dreyer is 3 for 3 today with a single, a double, a homer. And he advances Parchamenko to second base. 2 on, nobody out for the top of the order. Not a great start to the inning for the Fighting Saints. Ryan Daly's final line again, 6 innings, 4 runs, only 2 of them earned. He allowed 7 hits, walked 2. He struck out 5, all of them in the first 3 innings. There's a grounder to second base, could be 2. Martinez to second for 1, that's all they get. Hidalgo wisely pockets that ball, doesn't want to let Parchamenko get any thoughts about coming around third base. Sean Moore is safe at first. That's good speed at first base. But with Dreyer retired 4-6. Up by 5, that's all that matters. Get the outs. The runners don't really mean much. First and third. 1 out for Justin Massingale. Blazekowicz throws over to first. I'll reiterate, the runners don't really matter much right now. 5-run game. All that matters is attacking the hitter. Strike 1 called on Massingale. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for St. Xavier. 9, 8, and 3 for St. Francis. Fouled away to the right side out of play. 0-2. Cougars have had a lot more base runners, but the Saints have done more with theirs. St. Xavier has hit into 2 double plays today, and they've had 2 runners caught stealing. They've stranded 3. St. Francis has also stranded 3, but none of those other things I mentioned. There's a swing and a miss. Massingale goes down on strikes, and St. Xavier's down to their final out. Last hope is their number 3 hitter, just the guy they'd want to have up in this scenario, Evan Orzek. The senior catcher has reached base twice today. He's 1 for 3 with a solo homer. He's also reached down in air and scored 2 runs. Catchers don't get a chance to score a lot of runs. You consider they're usually replaced by courtesy runners, popped up fouling out of play, strike 1. So you take them where you can get them. When you're a power guy like Orzek is, a lot of times they come on homers. Nobody else will drive you in. Drive in yourself. Daly in line for the victory. It would be his 2nd this year out of the 3 total for St. Francis. Runner on the move. Pitch taken for a strike. It's 0-2 and no throw down to second base. More advances on defensive indifference. And Blazekowicz is 1 strike away from putting an end to this one. The 0-2 pitch. Righty versus lefty. Chopper right side over the glove of Blazekowicz, but Martinez is there behind him. The second baseman throws to first just in time. And there's your ball game. The Saints win 9-4 in the opener of today's doubleheader. A nice play by Alex Martinez to end it. He had to act quickly, and he did. 4-3 put out. Orzek dove towards first and was just late getting to the bag. So a little bit of a threat from St. Xavier in the 7th as they get back-to-back singles to lead off the inning. But neither man scores, and it's an impressive come-from-behind victory for the University of St. Francis. They trailed 2-0 in the middle innings, and they came roaring back. 9 runs scored over their final 3 times at bat. Let's quickly go over the scoring in this one once again. It started with a solo homer for Noah Dreyer in St. Xavier's 3rd inning. And then in the top of the 4th, Evan Orzek hit a solo shot to make it 2-0. It looked like the Cougars were in control because they had a 2-run lead and they had a pitcher who looked unhittable. Nico Saldias pitched 3 perfect innings to start. And then in the 4th, the wheels fell off. Alex Martinez walked. Nate Maliska doubled him in. Jake Lepash singled home Maliska. Brian Hidalgo walked. Cliff Vickers hit an RBI double. John McGuire hit an RBI triple. And hopefully you followed all of that to 5 runs scored for St. Francis in the 4th inning. In the 5th, they kept it rolling against the St. Xavier bullpen. Alex Martinez walked. Drew Dant reached down in air. And runs came home on a passed ball and a sacrifice fly. And then in the 6th, they put it away for good on a 2-run single off the bench from Brant Singler, who's only at bat of the game. St. Xavier scored 2 in the 6th inning as well to try to pull themselves back in it. Evan Orzek reached down in air. Troy Stukenberg walked. They got runs on a weird RBI fielder's choice that featured an error as well. Both men scored on the same play. It wasn't enough, though. That was their only offense over the final 3 innings. Ryan Daly picks up the win with 6 strong frames. He improves to 2-1 on the season. Losing pitcher is Nico Saldias. For as well as he started, wasn't able to finish quite as strong as he allowed 5 runs over 4 innings. He falls to 1-2 on the year. Game 2 of this doubleheader is set to start probably just a few minutes shy of 3:30. So make sure you're with us for that, but I'll step aside in between games. Our final score here in the opener, St. Francis 9, St. Xavier 4. 9 more innings of baseball still to come in just about a half hour. Until then, Terry Bonadonna signing off for the moment. Talk in just a few minutes.